welcome back. What are you working on?
Well, really, I'll let Tiger explain it to you more than anything. We've done a lot of work since you won the Masters 3 years ago from a swing that we thought worked pretty good then, and we realized it wouldn't work good for longevity. And why don't you take them through what you've done?
Okay, let's see. We've changed my left-hand grip, made it a little bit weaker. We've, narrowed my stance a little bit, tried to get the club up a little earlier, keep the club head in front of my hands a little longer, going back, higher right arm. Then from there, round off the left arm, make it a little flatter at the top, left wrist.
That's right.
Left arm up a little higher. Then from there, get the club down in front of me. From here, there I can arc it off with a little bit of a bow in my left hand to a nice short follow-through.
What does arc it off mean?
No, it is, the swing plane is on an arc, and what you want to do is have it come down on the same arc as you. It's a little bit more inside as versus your backswing, but still you want to feel like you come down, and the bottom of the arc is right where the ball is, not before that or not after it. And that's
a lot of the changes, Peter, the Tiger's made, and he had to get stronger to make them, and he really has. He's what are you about 20 pounds heavier now than when you first came on the tour?
Yeah, I came on the tour at 158, now I'm 180.
Yeah, so he's really worked out and got stronger, and that's allowed you to do the things in your swing that we've worked on. Let's take a set up here, and we'll talk a little bit about your takeaway. We're trying to get the club what you feel is a little earlier wrist set. And the key here is just to keep the right arm higher than the left. So many people get this club, as you did when you were younger, tucked in on the inside. And then when you go to the top of your swing, probably the biggest change that Tiger's made is he's really tried to get his hands in front of himself coming down. In other words, arms in front of the body, where the club used to lay down. Somehow, in your old swing when you used to get stuck.
The Olay swing?
Yes.
I go, Olay!
That's the lay the shaft down 16th tee Players Championship, right?
Yeah, and that's just because of a product of being a junior golfer. All junior golfers fire their hips hard, get the club stuck from the inside so they can flip it. Hit the ball long ways. Yeah, you hit the ball long ways, but it's hard to control. And under the gun, like a lot of pressure on yourself. It's really hard to hit the ball a specific distance with the correct shape.
On a normal swing now with your driver, how much shorter do you feel you are than in '96 when you turned pro, off the tee? With a normal swing, not trying to hit one really hard.
Probably a good 10 to 12, 15 yards.
Yeah, he's probably, to make the changes that he needed to make and to get more accurate, as he told you in our last segment, because his goal is to lead the tour in driving accuracy, which would be an incredible feat as his length. He's had to give up some of the distance. And giving up the distance doesn't mean it's still not in there, because you've still got that
still crank
30
it
or 40 yards if you need it.
I can still hit about at least a good 30 when I want to, but the problem is I don't hit the ball, obviously, as accurate. When I really want to step on one, I'll probably increase it by about 20 yards.
How tough was it to get the arm swing shorter and in sync, so where you really trusted it like you do now?
You know, we hit so many golf balls, what the drill I actually could not stand, and I still can't stand.
Let's see it then.
Is that take the club up to the top and stop, and then come down and hit the shot. And this is a drill that he made me do for hours upon hours, and we're out there sweating. It's 100 degrees out there.
You were sweating.
we were both working pretty hard, but the thing is, it's just something I needed to do to feel where he wanted me to put it, and then from there, let the arms fall down in front of you.
The whole key was to get the club in a position at the top where he just felt as he transferred his weight, his arms would fall down in front of him. Now, to get that feeling, and this is good for the average golfer who's watching, here's a guy who's the best player in the world who hits more balls than anybody on the planet, and it's taken him over a year to feel comfortable with that, hitting thousands of balls, where the recreational golfer takes one lesson for 30 minutes from their local PGA pro, and they just figure they've got it. They've got it made by doing that. And so it just tells you how hard you have to work at this game. This man works harder than anyone I've ever seen. Greg Norman, when I worked with him, was the hardest worker I'd ever seen until Tiger came along, and he works harder than even Greg did. And to be good at any level, you have to put in the time and you have to work. As he said, he hated that drill. When we used to do that drill, he goes, oh, no, you're not going to make me do that again. I said, yes, we haven't got it. You're going to do it until you get it.
Sure.
Gosh, Butchie, I hate you when you make me do this, he'd say.
Well, it's such a frustrating drill because obviously you don't have the power, but more than anything, you can't cheat. And you can fake it in your real swing at the real speed, but you can't fake it at that speed. When you take it up to the top, stop, then go, there's no faking it.
When you do the go, is it you really working hard to allow the arms to fall down and leaving this feeling stable?
What for me, I've always been a person who would come down and fire the hips so hard and so fast that obviously the club would lag behind me. But you wouldn't tell most golfers this, is to try and, for me, what I try and feel that my arms beat my body down. I try and feel like my arms come down first and exit through the ball first and my hips don't move. That's for me.
That's the feeling
That's
as
the
opposed
feeling
to the
I have.
reality.
It doesn't even come close to that. Obviously,
Right.
I'm more like this at impact. But for me, it feels like, obviously, my arms are winning the race and my body's not popping out of the golf shot. I used to have a problem of laying the club down like this, then also popping out of it with my body, and my spine angle would change, and I'd chase my right hand. That's the shot I had, and I still have it every once in a while.
A lot of people at home have that shot, too.
Well, they don't have it at 150 miles per hour like he does, that's for sure. Well, really now he tries to hold his hips and get his arms in front of his hip motion, where if we told an average person that, they do that all the time. They'd be staying back here and just throwing their hands at it and never hit it. And like he says, that's a feeling. And the one thing Tiger and I talk about all the time is that feel and real are not the same thing. What you feel you're doing, you're very seldom doing.
True. Very true.
What kind of tension do you feel in your lower body as you set up to the ball? How relaxed versus not is the feeling, the athletic readiness kind of a sense?
To be honest with you, Peter, I just set up and I just go. I mean, I'm being dead honest. I don't feel like I'm trying to put more weight on the balls on my feet, more weight on the right side or left side. I just get to a position where I feel comfortable. And whatever shot I see that I want to play, because I play a lot by feel. When I'm out there, sometimes I'll feel certain days I like to try and hit a cut, or I'll close my stance that day, which is completely opposite, but that's what I feel is going to work best that day. So I play a lot on the moment, and then I just play by feel what my hands and my body are telling me.
In a dress position, the thing we work on the most is really your spine angle posture.
That's something we work on very hard, is trying to keep my spine straight, because I have a tendency of getting a little slumped over, and from there I like to suck the club inside.
Let's show them the difference. Take a sit up where you're out of position, where you get a little slumped in, the head's down a little. And what happens now, he's going to have to come up to hit this ball. Now go
Not only that, I also take the club inside too.
He usually always goes inside. Now take your good posture. You can see the chin gets up, the back is much straighter. If we look at this position right here, you can see there's a lot of room from his chin and his chest. This just allows the turn, the right shoulder to get underneath the chin. What people don't realize, and Tiger and I work on this all the time, especially when you're in my studio in Vegas, is that so many things take place before you hit the ball that cause you to make bad swings, and the average player never even thinks about that. And we're always talking about posture, ball position.
Grip, you name it. It has to do with just the setup and trying to get aligned.
When we come back from this break, we've got some tape of Tiger hitting wedges last year at Firestone and wedges at Pebble this year, and there are differences between those that you two will point out, and we'll look at that in just a moment. And here's Tiger on the 7th hole at Augusta National last Sunday with a wedge in his hand, and as you can see, this one ends up right next to the hole. We'll find out how he does it when we come back.